I have spent 2 years with the Fujifilm X-T4 for my travel, during portrait shoots, street photography sessions, and I think that I have a good grasp on what it can and cannot do. A month ago, Fujifilm released the XH2S, and while I think it's a great camera, I still believe that there are 3 main reasons why you should buy an X-T4 over an XH2S in 2022. And make sure you stay until the end of the video because I will also take you to the street of Tokyo to show you a bit what the X-T4 can do in action. So the first reason why I think you should get an X-T4 over an XH2S is basically for the design and the feel of the camera. The Fujifilm X-T4 is basically designed like a Fujifilm camera. It has all the dials and the manual experience that you want from a Fujifilm camera. It gives this retro look and experience, and this is what hooked me with the Fujifilm system in the first place. This is what motivates me to shoot and makes me appreciate the process of taking pictures. And that's one of the problems that I have with the XH2S. There are a lot of cameras out there with a PASM dial, and if I want to shoot with a PASM dial, I can go to the other brands. But Fujifilm is the brand that gives me that manual and retro experience. And while I understand that for video shooters, the XH2S design might be more advantageous, I still believe that for most users who want to buy a Fujifilm camera in 2022, the X-T4 has a superior design. Now let's talk about capabilities and versatility. I agree with you that the XH2S basically outclasses the X-T4 in pretty much every single category. Maybe not the image quality, but it has better autofocus, animal face detection, better video capability, ProRes internally, better frame rate, better stabilization, etc, etc. But do you really need those features? Obviously it depends on your needs, but I feel like most of the features in the XH2S are not geared toward your everyday user. The XH2S is a flagship camera, and it's for the users who really need performance. But for most users, the X-T4 with its 26 megapixel camera, 4K 60, 15 frames per second, 6.5 stops of stabilization, the film simulations, 14-bit RAW pictures is a great starting point if you want to buy a camera and grow with it, but also a great companion if you're a professional. Yes, the XH2S outclasses the X-T4, because it's a newer camera, right? But that doesn't mean that the X-T4 cannot get the job done and is not more than enough for most users out there. Alright, and finally let's talk about the price. There is $1,000 difference between the X-T4 and the XH2S. $1,000 is, well, either $1,000 in your pocket or 1 or 2 extra lenses that you could buy for your Fujifilm camera. With $1,000 you could buy an 18mm f1.4 or a 33mm f1.4 or a 23mm f1.4, we all have budget limitation. And if we have to choose between a great camera and a good camera that can get the job done, plus a great lens, I would definitely choose option number 2. Price is one of the main problems I have with the XH2S, as it is as expensive as some full frame body out there. And I'm not sure if most Fujifilm users should invest that much into a camera. And now let's go together to the streets of Tokyo to see what the Fujifilm X-T4 can do in action. Let's go together. Alright, so what do you think about the Fujifilm X-T4 in 2022? Let me know down in the comments. So now that you know more about the X-T4, I assume that you also want to get a lens. Then check out this video right here where I advise you on which prime lens you should get first. See you there!